You're not this body. You've been asked to believe that you're this body from the time you're born. You've been given a name, an identity, a family, a community to which you belong to. What if I tell you they're all false? Because you are not this body. You are a spirit soul which is residing in the body. You're using this body for a purpose, but you are not the body. You are not your hands, you are not your legs, you're not your eyes, you're not the body. So what are you? You're a spirit soul, which is a fragment of that supreme spirit, the supreme God. You are a fragment of that. Just as a spark is a fragment of a big fire, just like that, you are a fragment of that divine energy, which is God. So how come you're on this earth plane? What are you doing here? If you are a spirit, then you should be in the spiritual world, right? So what are you doing here in the material world? This is a material world where everything is material. You can touch, you can smell, you can see, you can hold it. The place of rocks and stones and mountains and rivers, this is the material world. But you are not material. That is the dilemma. And that's a confusion and that's a frustration. Because you're a spirit soul. You are never born, you never die. As a soul, you are eternal. There is no birth for the soul. There is no death for the soul. Soul is always. It has been, it will always be. Bodies take birth, bodies die, bodies change. Before this body, you had millions of other bodies. In fact, the scriptures say that you have there are 84 lakh species of life through which every soul transmigrates endlessly in a cycle of birth and death. In that, there are 4 lakh human species. 80 lakh species of other animals and 4 lakh human species through which every soul keeps moving. So you're not the body and you're the soul. This is the primary message of the 2nd chapter of Gita. And this is the fundamental message. This is the ABC of the Vedas. All our scriptures of Sanatan Dharma, this is the primary ABC alphabets. That you are a soul who is having a human experience in a human body. Just as we go, say, underwater diving, you have to wear a special suit if you want to go scuba diving or something like that. Similarly, in order to experience the human realm, we have to don this human body. But that doesn't make you a human. You are a spirit. So, when you know that you are a spirit, you are a soul, you're eternal, you're full of bliss, Sat Chit Ananda, that is what you're made of. Sat standing for eternity, you're eternal. Chit standing for knowledge, you're full of knowledge. You know everything. Sat Chit Ananda, bliss, the supreme bliss. That which everybody craves for. We all crave for happiness. We every moment we are living to be happy. Nobody seeks sorrow. So you are Sat Chit Anand. You're made up of eternity, knowledge and bliss. That's what you are. That's your primary constitution. However, because of your misidentification. You are misidentified with your body. Therefore, you are in the material plane and you are having these experiences, you are doing these actions which has a reaction. So you're in this karmic cycle which makes you more and more bound to the material plane. So it all starts with that fundamental mistake of identifying with the body. So when a child is born, the child is given a name, and slowly the child recognizes his papa, his mama, his relatives, his brothers, sisters, his community, his nation, and people have so many identities. I'm an American, I'm an Indian, I'm a chartered accountant, I'm an engineer, I'm a husband, I'm a wife, I'm black, I'm white, I'm a singer, I'm a dancer, so many identities, but they all pertain to the body which you are not. Therefore, the fundamental message, as I said, of the second chapter is that you are the supreme spirit soul which never dies, so you are eternal. And therefore, in the material world, and you're in the material world, which is the wrong place for you to be. Material world is made up of material things, and it has it keeps changing. That's the nature of the world. Samsara, the Sanskrit meaning of the word samsara is that which keeps constantly changing. Samyati iti samsara. So you are in the samsara which is constantly changing, and you are eternal. Therefore, this confusion is there. An eternal soul is put in the material world which is temporary. The material world is made of dualities: heat, cold, summer, winter, day and night, happiness and sorrow. That's the way of the material world. And you are in the material world, so what do? Lord Krishna advises us in Gita, be equanimous. Whether there's happiness or sorrow, they are just pertaining to the body, because as soul you are supremely blissful. All that's happening to the body is not affecting you, because you are the soul. Soul is unaffected by anything happening to the body. You get insulted. It's just the body, not the soul. And because of our misidentification, we have created this false ego. False ego is thinking, I'm this body. And when somebody insults you, you feel hurt because of your misidentification. As a soul, it doesn't affect you at all. So, the first important lesson of second chapter is your soul. Second important lesson is that be equanimous in the face of dualities. Whether it's happiness or sorrow, success or failure, heat or cold, doesn't matter. Be equanimous. It will pass. Everything passes. Happiness comes, that will pass. Sorrow comes, that too will pass. That's how the material world is. So that's the second important lesson. Now that you've known you're a soul and you're in the material world, which is very different from what you are, you would ask, then what is my purpose? Well, your purpose is, as a soul, your only one purpose is to serve the Supreme Lord, to serve God. As soul, all the souls, the infinite number of souls, are servants of the Lord, and their only purpose is to serve the Lord, to make the Lord happy. Therefore, now the third important lesson comes, Nishkam Karma Yoga or Buddhi Yoga or Bhakti Yoga. That's the third important lesson. So now that you know you're a soul and you know the purpose is to serve the Lord and you're in the material world, what you have to do is you have to do your duty in order to please the Lord. without any expectation of a result, without any expectation of sense enjoyment, without any expectation of enjoying the fruit of your work. You have to do your duty, you have to do work. Why? Because the nature of the soul is to be active. The souls are not meant to be passive. Therefore, the meditation, sitting up on the mountain top and meditating for hours is not the message of Gita. Because as souls, Lord Krishna says, you are constantly active. Therefore, do your duty. And what is your duty? Your duty is to please the Lord. And the result of the duty will be given by Lord. You don't have any right over the results of your duty. Your right only is to do your duty. Karmanye vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbu ma te sangostva karmani. That says, do your duty. Don't expect the results of the duty. Don't think that you are the creator of the result of the duty. No, you're not. There are several other factors involved which goes towards making the result. And do not do your duty. Souls are not meant to be passive, inactive. You have to be active. You have to constantly strive. Just as, example is given of a hand. The hand's duty is to feed the stomach. In a machine, all the small parts of the machine have to contribute, have to cooperate in order for the machine to run. Therefore, as souls, we are part and parcel of the Supreme Spirit Soul, which is God. And our eternal duty, our eternal constitutional position and duty is to serve the Lord. Therefore, our every endeavor should be to serve the Lord. So that's the primary lesson of second chapter. Thank you. Hare Krishna.